What's good, people? This bonus episode of the Get the Who's podcast is going to be uncensored as I'm joined with some live, raw Philadelphia supporters reacting to the James Harden comments in China. Let's get right into it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tap into the Get the Who's podcast available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Let's get right to it. To my left, I got Shaggy, passionate James Harden fan.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Fuck Joel Embiid. All his fans can suck my dick. I'm about to go play Madden until BMF come on. Fuck out of here, clowns. Joel Embiid's a fucking bum, fat, lazy fuck. That's why he will never win the MVP award. He will never be viewed as an all-time great at his position. He will never be viewed as the best player in the world. He will never be viewed as a top 5 player in the NBA. He will never be viewed as the best center in the NBA. That will be Nikola Jokic. Fuck out of here.
And to my bottom, we got one of the most abrasive, passionate, fuck you Philadelphia fans in the building. Process. What was your perspective when you first heard that?
Yeah, so this morning I was, today's my day off, so I get up late and I get a bunch of texts about it and I get a bunch of stuff on social media, and I watched the video and I was like, people at first like, is this real or is this like, is somebody like putting audio in? And I was like, does he really say this? And everybody always jokes about like how Morey and Harden are like, they're inseparable. Everywhere they go, he's with them. He tries to get him everywhere he's been. He's been with them in Houston. He got him to Philly, and he wanted to come to Philly because Morey was here. But, when you mess with somebody's money and you lie to somebody that trusted you, I would be upset too. If my boss promised me something and I sacrifice something for him, and then he kind of throws me under the bus and is faithful to his word, I'd be pissed off too. But it happens a lot, It happens a lot in the league, and players aren't faithful to their franchises with their contracts. They're not faithful to their team with their contracts. So it's a double-edged sword. It happens both ways. Harden's getting the shit end of the stick here, and the worst of it falls on people like me and everybody else in Philadelphia, because now, okay, Shaggy's a Philly fan. Harden was on Philly. He loves Philly. He supports us and everything. But he's going to be wherever Harden goes. Now I'm stuck with this another season, going into a season with this nonsense again. First it's Ben Simmons, and now it's this, and now we traded Matisse Thybulle, and we got McDaniels, and we don't re-sign McDaniels. We almost didn't sign Paul Reed. It's just a mess of an offseason so far, and we signed a bunch of bum centers. We signed Pat Bev. What are we doing? We have listen, whether people agree with it or not, we have the MVP of the league. We have a budding star in Maxey. You have a star in Harden. Now you lose the star, and now you have nothing in return. And now you're going into a season where your best player is, Embiid, and now the supporting cast is a bunch of role players in Maxey. And you're in cap trouble because you gave a role player $180 million in Tobias Harris. So they couldn't sign anybody. They couldn't get anybody of substance. And now you're losing a guy who I think made us better. We didn't get it done. We still didn't get out the second round without Harden. And it was because Embiid was hurt, and it's because Embiid didn't perform in the playoffs more than anything. And Harden did show up in 2-3 games. So I can't fault him for it. But, I think Morey doesn't want to give him the money because he doesn't think that much money is good, is smart to give to an aging player. But now the Sixers should fire Daryl Morey, probably, and not even re-sign Harden, and they're going to punt this season. They're not going to fire Morey. They're going to trade Harden. They're going to punt this season and hope to get a free agent next year. But would you want to come here after a superstar calls our GM a liar if you're a free agent? No. It's bad.
I think it's tough, man. I have a lot of reactions because, again, we still don't know if it was a handshake deal between those two, and technically speaking, we're not going to find that out because that will be against the CBA. So we're not going to find out if that was true or not. However, we know how tight James Harden and Morey are. The first time I heard him say that, I'm like, is he just trying to lie to say these things about him to force them to trade him, or did he really get crossed by Daryl Morey? We don't No, right? I still feel like the point is Harden took a pay cut expecting to be back on the team on a longer deal. Obviously, Daryl is kind of emotionless when it comes down to what is the right choice for the team. So it's either he wants to give Harden that and they're not allowing him, or he's saying I can't give this to you. We have to not do that. But if he promised Harden that, then it makes sense why Harden, is doing this. But it's also dumb because you have to understand Harden's track record, right? If you are offering him this deal and you pull it with a new CBA kicking in this summer, where there's a limited market for teams that can give Harden the money that he wants, you're essentially like messing up his contract moving forward as an aging star. So for him, it's like, I have to do this. I have to be aggressive if I want to get that big contract that I was promised. It's a very rough situation, but Shaggy, I got to get your perspective on that. Which side are you more understanding of?
Of course, I'm rocking with Harden. Like I've been one fuck with Morey. You can add the prices. I didn't understand Morey in the front office direction in the offseason anyway. They lost me, but so now with this, I'm not surprised, bro. I'm not surprised because this shit is confusing. I woke up this morning like 7 a.m. I ain't go to work. I had called out last night. I woke up. What the fuck is this? This shit fake. This is AI generated. I go back to sleep. I wake back up 9 something. I check the chat. Oh, niggas like, no, this shit real. So I'm like, I'm completely lost. Like you said, we don't know what Morey promised him. But this shit, like, I'm not delusional either. It's a part of the business. I already know we got itself into. You can't be taking no pay cut like that and just going off somebody's word. Like, it don't matter. It don't matter who it is. It's business first. We're gonna do what's best for the team first, and what they think is best for the team. So I'm not like mad. It's still fuck Daryl Morey, but yeah, I'm not delusional. I understand everything about the business, bro. So he knew what he was doing, bro. He knows, bro. He been turning down money for the past 4 or 5 years now, bro. He did it in Houston, did it in Brooklyn, did it this last season with the Sixers. So he knew he was getting himself into. You can't yeah, you and Daryl Morey been rocking with each other 10 years, but like, come on, bro. This shit business, bro. So he knew, bro. We gonna see how this shit play out. Process. No, I never wanted to leave Philly, bro. I got too many ties in Philly. Like this, Philly my second home, bro. I got too many ties in Philly. I wanted to be here with a better team, a better coach. But now this whole shit is fucked up and this roster stinks. It's bad. I still don't want to go. I just want shit to get fixed so we can go win a championship, bro. I don't want to go nowhere else. I wanted to be here even after the Game 7 loss. Yeah, Embiid was fucked up, so I really wasn't expecting too much. They could have won. They should have won Game 6 if you ask me. They both flopped in the Game 6. So
they should have won, yeah. I agree.
That's the game you should have won. Going to Game 7 in Boston, it's like, damn. It's damn near impossible, bro. It's damn near impossible. Tatum going for 50 and shit. So I still want to be here. I ain't gonna say fire Morey, bro, but this shit, it's fucked up because the roster is bad, and it's like, now what are you doing? Maybe you don't want to give Harden this so much money. Like, the reports, the crazy shit is the reports. Niggas saying he won 200 M's. Niggas saying the Sixers wanted to take less than that. Then today, people were saying they didn't offer him a contract at all. I don't know what the fuck to believe, bro. I don't know what's
real. Yeah, nah, same.
Like, not offering him a contract at all? I can't believe that. It's like, there's no way you're going to not offer this man a deal. You're going to make him play on expiring knowing he can walk after. I don't know what to believe. Upcoming weeks, months, we're going to see how this shit play out. I don't think it's able to get fixed. I just don't think it is. Like, maybe they don't want to pay him a lot of money so they can bring somebody else in. I just don't know. I'm lost. I'm confused. I ain't never been through no shit like this. I've been through the Houston shit, the Brooklyn shit, but this shit right here, this shit different. And like Process said, they might punt the season, but I can't see how you punt the season away with Embiid in his prime like this. He finally got his MVP. He's been playing at MVP level past 3 or 4 years. How can you punt a season away, bro? It just don't make sense. You cannot afford to punt a season away.
What are they going to do? I don't know what they can do. They don't. It's not like, the season is in 2 months. What are they going to do?
I'm lost, bro. Like we was talking about it earlier. You bring Tobias back. You got Daryl Morey posting up with pictures in front of cookie shots with Tobias Harris. He making 40 M's for what? Like, bro, that guy. All respect to him, but he stinks. You don't move up of him. You trade Thibault. Process know how mad I was that they traded Thibault because he couldn't fit with Doc Rivers. Like, everything these past 2 seasons just do not make sense to me at all, bro. It do not make sense to me at all. The first year, I get it. Harden's ass, he spat. Embiid got hurt. Harden got 100%. Cool. Trade happened in the middle of the season. But this past season, bro, no. I just can't. I can't get over that Game 7 loss and this offseason shit. I can't do it, bro. This shit's stressful. It's fucking stressful. I wanted to win the championship. I wanted to win that fucking championship. And I get it. You lost to a better team. But you could have won. After you take this team to 7 games and you don't get better, you watch other teams get better and you get worse. It don't make sense. I don't get this shit. Like, fuck the whole Harden shit. I don't get what the fuck Philly is doing, period, right now.
Yeah, I don't
know.
It doesn't make sense to me because it felt like up until this news, let's talk about what Philadelphia has actually done in terms of trying to get better. You let Jalen McDaniels walk. You already let Thibault go. You have signed Montrezl Harrell, who hurts himself. So really, that's not going to be much. Like, I just don't understand the moves. I really don't.
They signed Mo Bamba. They signed Pat Beverly.
Yeah.
What is that?
I get the Mo Bamba joint. Okay, 3 centers, a rotation of Embiid, Bamba, and Paul Reed. Anybody can get hurt any day, so 3. But the trash shit, you bring back trash and you already still have Dedmon. I don't fucking get that. No, at all. I don't understand that. You bring back trash, he gets hurt. Dedmon sucks. I never got why they picked him up in the first place. I never got that shit. And he's bad. And Paul Reed is the guy. He's the backup. Like, shout out B-ball,
especially after how like he played with many lineups with Harden. Like, he played a very effective season. You would want to see him get more opportunity in this upcoming season. And like, to me, like, punting on a season like this, while I'm not sure how good they could be next year, you have to question, like, what's going to happen with Joel Embiid and his future in Philadelphia as well. Because this franchise, to me, in terms of having consistent leadership up top and understanding what they want to do and what they want to specifically execute, it seems to not be completely on the same page. Because, again, if you are a franchise in the NBA and you're making commitments to pay players X amount, whatever, if that's the case, if that's happening and you do not follow up on that, what is the backup plan if you don't do that? It didn't seem like there was any backup plan. It just happened.
Yeah, and like you said with Embiid, I feel bad for Embiid, bro. I like Embiid. I might get frustrated with his play style sometimes, but he don't deserve this shit, bro. Like, it's damn near every year he going through some shit. Yeah, people may say he show up out of shit. He always injured in the playoffs. The man's still there. He ain't bringing too much drama off the court. He ain't bringing no off the court drama like these other guys are doing with this shit. He don't deserve this shit, you ask me, bro. I can't be mad if Harden end up getting traded at any point and he acts out. I can't be mad. Like, yeah, he ain't signed up for this shit. He ain't signed up, and he's giving everything to Philly, bro. Like, when you hear this man talk about Philly, like, that's why I can't. It'd be hard for me to hear the conversation when people say, "Oh, he might act out," bro. I follow damn near everything the team do off the court. He loves fucking Philly, bro. Like, he ain't shown nothing about him wanting to leave. Like, I don't know. I don't see the guy leaving. Like, he don't deserve this shit. Like, he love this shit too much, bro. He love this shit too much. He love Philly, but he don't deserve this shit. This shit fucked up.
I don't think he's gonna ask for out. I mean, it seems like him and Morey have a good relationship, but you know how same with Harden and Morey. But I mean, he doesn't deserve this. And listen, we thought getting Morey was going to fix all these problems because we had, remember what we went through with Elton Brand. We signed Al Horford and we gave Tobias Harris an extension and we lost Jimmy Butler. So we thought that Morey would be able to fix these problems. And he did a good job his first year. He got rid of Horford. He brought in some players. We did okay. We got hurt, whatever. Then he trades Ben and he made a great trade for Ben Simmons. We got it, and luckily it was because Harden wanted to be here. But after that, it's been like, and like this offseason, like okay, you made a good coaching hire, but think of it that too, like now Nick Nurse is coming into a situation where he thinks he's going to be like, all right, I know I'm on a good team. I got the MVP. I got this. I got a good GM, and now you got a disgruntled star that doesn't want to play and calling out your GM. Like Nick Nurse is coming into a situation, and it's just a mess. It's a disaster.
It's bad. Like I don't understand how this shit happens. Knowing you got an MVP, you got Harden, you got Maxey, up and coming, you can be a star at any moment, and you bringing in a good coach, Nick Nurse. You're getting rid of Doc Rivers. How do you let this happen, bro? I don't get it. I seriously don't understand, bro. Like this why we need the full details on what the conversation was when the trade happened. Because from my understanding, this was already discussed before the offseason. Like Harden was been saying, I'm gonna do his best for the team. All this, that I'm not here to take the most money and all that. Do his best for the team. He takes the pay cut. What was the conversation? What did y'all discuss? But we probably never find out, like you said, because of the rules and shit. Like that will never get leaked.
They will get cooked if that comes out on top of.
Yeah, that would happen like 15, 20 years from now. Yeah. If Harden just got to speak on it when he retired. But like, yeah, I just don't see how you let this shit happen after what happened last season, bro.
I think that Harden's camp knew. Maybe they knew because during the season, there could have been an extension during the season. They didn't have to wait until the offseason to extend him. And I think they knew. I think they knew that the Sixers didn't want to extend him, and that's why those Houston reports came out from his camp, because they're saying, oh, he might leave, he might go to Houston, and this team's going to sign him, trying to play, like, trying to give him leverage so the Sixers give him a deal just to, like, put Houston's name out there. And now, I guess Morey just thinks he was too much money, and he's not worth it. Listen, like you said, Gifted, you need a backup plan. If you don't think that Harden is the answer, and you don't want to re-sign him long term, and you don't even, there's no way they didn't offer him a contract. Even if they offered him a 2-year, they had to offer him a contract. But
on the table, yeah, I agree.
John Clark is the guy who reported that. He's a beat writer for Philly. He's on NBC Sports for Philadelphia. So listen, he's not like a liar. He's a pretty trustworthy source. So if they didn't even offer him a contract, that it's ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? What's your plan?
Exactly. That's why, like you said, with the Houston thing, I think I told everybody from the start, I don't believe that. I don't believe that rumors. It's all leverage. But that's the thing with Morey. I think Morey knew that shit as well, though. Like, he knew this shit is cat. You're bluffing. You're not going back to Houston. You're not going to go play with a bunch of young players, knowing you want to win a championship. You've been saying this shit for forever now. That's why he didn't extend him during the season. I think Morey already knew that shit was cap. Like I knew that shit was cap. I don't see this man. I never seen him going to go play. It didn't make sense. I didn't even see why Houston would want him back.
I think people tried to do this thing where oh, it's James Harden, it's Houston. He don't want to win, strip club. And I'm like, but every move he's made so far on paper at least has been in an attempt to try to win. So going to Houston just didn't really make much sense. But the scary part about it is Daryl Morey is not some pushover GM. Like he will try to get value back for James Harden. But where we're at now is James Harden's value was already low. Wherever it's at now, I just don't see him getting what he wants. He wants to get an all-star back and some picks. That seems very hard, especially when the one team he's linked to doesn't even want to trade Terrence Mann for him. Process I don't.
I'm confused.
I was talking too, and I said because people are oh, well, what would you want to trade? And I said, listen, if I can get Terrence Mann, I guess I'd be happy, because that's the best young player that could be maybe. I don't know if he's not even better than Maxey. So you're getting a player that's not even, he could be good one day, and he shows promise, but you're trading a star and you're literally getting nothing back. And I've said this plenty of times. When you trade a star in the NBA, whoever's trading the star is not getting what they deserve back, because in this league the players have every leverage. It's not like Daryl Morey is like has options to trade him to other teams, it's the Clippers, and that's it. You didn't even hear a peep of another team wanting him, and him saying he wants to go anywhere else. Like, there's no other team. So like, if Daryl Morey wants to be like, oh, I'm going to trade him to just say another team, and they get wind of it and they're interested, as soon as they talk to him, Harden's camp going to be like, do not make the trade because he's not going to play for you.
And exactly the only way I see it being another team other than the Clippers, the Sixers will have to get good value. Like, I was thinking about a team like Chicago, depending on how their season going. Okay, trade them to Chicago, see what you can get. Zach LaVine, I think that's fair. But on Harden's side, Chicago had to buy him out. It could be like a Russell Westbrook situation. Like, he played a certain amount of time with the Lakers, so Utah didn't have to pay him the whole 40 M's.
Right.
Like, that team, if this other team other than the Clippers, they would have to buy him out so then he could sign where he want to go. Like, he can still get all his money and sign where he want to go. This whole situation, it just fucked up. Like, Harden not going to sit out. I mean, I can't guarantee. Like, I think he's going to come up to play to his best level, but I don't think it's going to be a healthy environment.
Harden for like, like.
Yeah, I think he's going to show up and play. I just don't think the vibe, the team. I don't think it's going to be a healthy environment, bro. Like, I just think it might be toxic. Like, we don't know what the fuck happened in the locker room. And it's like, it's nothing against the players. Harden got no problem with the players. He love everybody on the team. It's just the Daryl Morey shit. Like, it's just fucked up, bro. This is just a bad situation.
If I'm Elton Brand or I'm Sixers, I'm part of the Sixers front office, and listen, this might be stepping on his toes. Obviously, I mean it is, but if you can somehow talk to his camp, Harden's camp, and say, if the Sixers make a move to get rid of Daryl Morey, will you come back and we'll try and work another deal out? Because that's the only way he would come and play for us, and that's not even realistic. Morey's not going anywhere. And when Morey heard about this, he said he's not moved. Like, bro, exactly. I get trying to act tough.
You move attack with that, yeah.
You're trying to act like it's no big deal, but like, you're gonna have to get you're gonna have to get lucky again when you're gonna have to have a disgruntled star or somewhere else want out, and you're gonna have to hope that team is gonna be like, okay, let's just like Harden and Ben, and this is gonna linger throughout the season, and he's gonna have to either play half-assed or he's just gonna go out there and not give a shit, and it's gonna be bad. It's better that the team just allows him to, because he can't sit out on his own with the CBA. But if the team allows him to just be like, all right, just don't play, and we'll look for a spot as soon as we can for you when something opens up, I think that's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah, I think this shit worse than the Ben shit. Like, cool, Ben,
definitely worse.
No, like, Ben, he ain't show up and shit, but he wasn't going to another country where you know the GM is hated. Saying
China,
shit like this,
bro. He that shit in China. Shit, like, I cannot believe the timing, and like, I really feel like Harden knew exactly what he was doing. He really wanted to like make it like sting, because there's no way that you're like randomly at a camp in China making this comment and then saying, "I repeat," like that to me makes me think that he really thought this shit out to me. I don't know.
He did get asked the question though. He did get asked.
Oh,
like one of those guys.
Okay. Yeah, he got asked question, bro. But I think he got asked.
He got asked, "What do you think about the trade?" That question was, "What do you think about the trade talks being shut down with you?" And then he said, "I'm not playing for Daryl Morey. He's a liar, and I'll never play for an organization that he's a part of." So, I mean, that's what he thinks.
I still think he had that shit planned out. When I first seen it in China, I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing in China? You ain't been down here in years." So, and then this shit happened, like, damn, bro. Like, it's like everything is confusing. Like, you miss Embiid wedding, but you in mud for you in China 2 weeks later. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, everything is fucked up. Like, the Sixers
back. Embiid went to, I think it was Ramona Shelburne or somebody, Rachel Nichols. Maybe he did an interview saying he wants him on the team and he wants him back. So, and to your guys' point, like, I would hate it. I would be sick because we would, Embiid is an MVP and he's our best player. He's the best player we've had since Allen Iverson. But would I really be shocked if he asked for out? No. And would I be mad at him? Probably not. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at all.
Mad at him. I think what like makes me mad though is on both sides, like the lack of preparation kills me, because the new CBA coming in, like, you knew 8 months ago, okay, if we don't come to a deal this next offseason, there's gonna be a new CBA which we know nothing about that could dramatically impact the market. And for both sides to like not really make traction in the deal isn't great. But at the same time, if you are a organization making a promise like that, again, if you think that you're gonna backpedal on that, you have to be prepared. And to not have that preparation, to me, is kind of malpractice, because now you put yourself in a spot where, okay, if Harden's not playing, guess what? You need Joel Embiid to be more and more of Joel Embiid, which opens him up to more injury concerns. Now Tyrese has to play up another role where, to me, he's still not like a natural point guard guy. He's more of a score first, play make, close out type of guy. You don't want to bring too much of these players because that's going to put more strain on them. The situation is just bad on all sides, I think.
So back to what they're gonna punt the damn season.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna come out and say like, oh, we're gonna just go out, but like they're gonna go into this season without James Harden, or they're gonna trade him for pennies on the dollar, and they're gonna run it with Embiid and Maxey, and that's gonna get them to the playoffs because the East is, I mean, Embiid has never missed the playoffs. Yeah, they'll make the playoffs, but what are you going to do? Embiid and Harden and Maxey couldn't get out the second round. You think this team without Harden is going to be able to get I know Nick Nurse, maybe he'll come in there and he'll help us out. I think he's a good coach, but he's not going to make this league is run by the talent. It's not like, Joe Mazzulla was a bad coach. You see how far the Celtics went just on talent alone. You know what I mean? And we don't have it. Like Maxey, like you said, he's a good player, but he's too young and he's still not ready to be the second best player on a championship team. If he's the second best player on your team, you're not winning a championship.
Yeah, I just think they went wrong. Like I said again, outside of the Harden shit, they went wrong so many areas, bro. It don't make no sense at all, bro.
Did not improve the roster overall. They had more guys that they lost than kept, and even the guys they signed. Again, signing Montrezl Harrell just for him to get hurt is a drastic loss. It's like a net negative.
Yep, trading Thibault and a pick for McDaniels and then letting him walk. It don't make sense. You let McDaniels walk and you have to bring in Nick Nurse.
I can't believe that, to be honest with you, because his length and his size fits perfectly with what Nick Nurse would like to try to do, and you kind of just let him go for what? I didn't get that.
They don't have any money. They don't have no money.
He didn't sign for he signed for what, 6 M's?
I know, but if they would have signed McDaniels, they would have lost Paul Reed. They would have been screwed.
And that's another thing. Remember, the Paul Reed offer sheet. That's crazy too, man. He signed a big.
So I guess they thought that one out. They're like, if we sign McDaniels for this much, we're probably not going to have enough to get Paul back. And
how much did they bring Beverly in for? I don't remember the number.
I'm looking
something.
And I like Pat Bev. I think it's a good signing. He fixed the culture.
Yeah.
But even with the Paul Reed shit, I've been telling y'all probably the last 2 years about Paul Reed. Bro, I've been seeing it, bro. The first year we got in Philly, bro, I've been seeing it, bro. The first year Harden got there, they wait too long with him, and then you got to pay him this amount of money because you let him go test the free agency.
Right.
Now you got to match. They just had a lot of shit wrong.
Here it says Pat Bev signed a 1-year, $3.1 million deal.
Yeah, I like that signing.
Yeah, I like that signing too. If we had a starter.
What was Trez?
Let me see what Montrez's contract was real fast. Montrez.
1.6 million, I think. I'm not sure. But for no reason. There's no reason to bring him back.
No reason at all. He literally lost his minutes. You bring him back. All this happens, and you still don't move up of 40 M's with Tobias.
Yeah, he's still
man.
Yeah, that
man. That's a hard basketball player to watch, bro.
Tobias Harris said because every year the trade talk, get rid of him, and he did come out and he said, you're not a 6'9" forward that can shoot and do this and do everything on the court. He might be right, but I could find a forward that does a little bit what you do for $10 million, not 40.
And they're going to give more effort than you get, bro. They're going to give way more effort.
I'm not gonna and you mentioned Levine, Shaggy, and Okay, that's fine, but he's got $40 million a year contract for the next few years too. Like, that's not great.
It's not.
I mean, like, you're in a tough spot, man. I mean, listen, it's still value that you're getting back. And by the way, I'm not even sure if the Bulls want to give up on LaVine like that early, that easily, because the value they would be getting back for LaVine isn't great because Harden is going to get brought out as soon as that happens. Like, it's just a rough spot for the team to be in. And I kind of felt like if you're trading Harden, I thought, okay, Daryl might try to get value back, but also use this as an opportunity to do, you know, maybe a 3-team deal, and you shed Tobias Harris' contract. That's not going to happen now. I don't think.
I don't know who wants Tobias Harris. I don't know who would want him. I don't know who would even like. I mean, like, there's a couple teams maybe to be like a filler for a contract, and he's on an expiring deal. It's his last year. That's the only shot you got. And I was saying, like, the 3-team deal would be in with the Bulls, and maybe you could get Terrence Mann and Norman Powell and some young players from the Clippers, and then turn that into LaVine, because the Bulls might try and rebuild and get some young players and do that. But like, even so, like I don't even know what the possibilities are. Like it's a disaster because the Clippers now have Daryl Morey right where they want him, you know. Like and it's gonna end up being like Norman Powell and like Nicholas Batum and Robert Covington and a pick. Like, that's terrible. We would suck.
Exactly. That's why I kept telling guys earlier. There's no point to include Terrence Mann now if you may not have to, bro. There's no point.
There's no point. You might as well like listen. Every team in the league, for the most part, I think they're gonna wait the situation out, wait until it explodes, and then try to get the lowest value they can get away with doing. I think process.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, exactly. Just as they should. As they should. They're gonna. We're at the lowest point right now. The Sixers have, like, this is the worst spot they could be in leverage-wise to trade James Harden, and every team is going to be like, well, you're not going to get this for him, so here, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And it's cool for Daryl Morey to come out and say he wants an all-star level player and a pick, but he's out of his mind. Like, there's no shot we're getting that. I mean, Toronto is the only other spot that there's only like a little glimmer of hope that Toronto maybe you could do a 3-team trade and somehow get somebody out of there, because they've been talks about Pascal or OG Anunoby or something. But why would Harden's camp would be like, Toronto, don't trade for me. I'm not gonna sign it. I'm not gonna sign a deal. I'm not gonna be there next year. Maybe I'll play for you this year, but I'm not gonna be there long term. But the CBA though does force Harden to come in and play. I think it was, if he doesn't show up November 2nd.
By November 2nd, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by November 2nd, then the Sixers can just completely shut him down and he won't be able to go anywhere until they allow him to, pretty much.
They can block him from literally going to any professional basketball team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only leverage the Sixers have with Harden, but Harden's not dumb. His Cam's not dumb. He's going to play. He's going to play. He's going to half-ass it. Maybe he's just going to go out there and put on like a half-ass performance, like he did in the beginning of Houston the one year, and he did in.
I just don't know if he can get away with doing that based on how stressful things are for him now. Because again, after doing this, regardless if it's for money or whatever, I think for a lot of teams, this makes you stop to pause and think, do we really want to max this guy? Like that's going to be something that factors in. I think Harden is going to take this as a serious season because he's trying to get his money. If you're trying to get paid and you're doing these antics to get traded, then he understands more than anybody else, I got to hoop. This is my last, like, a lot of people said that, okay, well, we know that Kyrie Irving is also toxic and all this and all that. He's not going to care to play basketball. Kyrie played well last year and took it serious because he knew he was in a contract year to get paid long-term money. I think Harden is going to be more of the same as well this upcoming season. But there is
but I think Harden thought last year was that season. He came out and he had a tough year his first year in Philly. He got hurt. He was dealing with the hamstring. Then he was like, I'll take a pay cut and I'll prove that I deserve a contract. And I mean, I think he was like led the league in assists, and he changed. And not only did he do that, he changed his style of play to cater to another player. And everybody always says, "Oh, he's selfish. He can't play with another star. It's all about him. He wants to score." He changed his style of play to cater to a better player. He helped him get better, helped him win the MVP, helped the team become a better team, and he still showed that he is able to. I mean, he won 2 playoff games for the Sixers by himself. He dominated both games, and he showed that he still has the ability to do that. I don't think he could do it like he did every single night in Houston. Obviously, I mean, he's over 30 years old, so that's not realistic. But he still has a lot left in the tank. So I don't know if he would come in this season and take it as serious as he did last year, because now he's like, I did what I had to do. I proved that I can still play. Am I going to go this year on a 1-year deal and risk an injury? Because you know what I mean? Like, if he comes in this season, he gives it his all and he gets hurt, now he's really like screwed himself. I don't know.
I think I just feel like how old Harden is again. Like, Harden to me is looking more for like a 5-year, like a long-term deal. And sadly, the only way Harden is going to be able to get that is if he shows his value by playing hard, by being one of the best guards in the league still, by playmaking still at a high level and doing it back-to-back years. It might be a shitty situation, but again, for what Harden is chasing and where his value is right now, he's going to have to do that if he wants that. And I have to draw this line in the sand because I'm seeing people lose their minds, bro. People are saying we should have never traded Ben Simmons for James Harden. Can we cut the bullshit? Can we please cut the bullshit? Because bro,
like it wasn't no better deal out there. People were saying the Halliburton shit. Nobody knew that Halliburton was going to pop the way he popped, and I don't think with the way that slow ass pace that Doc Rivers wanted to play, I don't think that shit would have fit his game, bro. That's a fast paced guard, bro, and the way he like to push shit.
Yeah.
That
it's funny.
He's more than just pick and roll. Like, Harden bought into that, but Tyree's skill set as a playmaker at his young age, it's more than just spam pick and roll, bro. Spam pick and roll, throw the ball. Like, it's more than this. It's more than just that, bro.
The funny thing is the Halliburton thing. Daryl Morey was on our local radio station, and the host asked him about like the whole trade when he did it with Ben Simmons back then, and he said like, "Were there?" And listen, Daryl Morey was called a liar this morning, so I'm sure he could have been lying on the radio. He said that was the only deal that we had in place. That Halliburton stuff wasn't a real scenario, and Halliburton even said on a podcast, or he said somewhere, like in an interview, he was like, I thought I was being traded to Philly until the day the trade happened. I found out that it wasn't true. So
yeah, I seen that.
Same.
Everyone says that, oh, Halliburton, but nobody really knows if that was 100% a real trade. And listen, hindsight's 2020. I'd still take James Harden at the time, because nobody, like Shaggy said, you would have never known that Halliburton would have turned into what he is today. And to be honest with you, he wouldn't put up these gaudy numbers with Embiid. He's doing it on a shitty team. Not saying he's not good, but he's doing those, he's doing those numbers because he's the best they got and he's all they got.
I would say process that like Halliburton's play style in terms of like being the guy that can be off ball to Joel Embiid and spacing. Like, back then, I thought Halliburton could evolve into that. But my bigger thing is, y'all are saying y'all would rather have Ben Simmons on a roster than James Harden in the same situation. Like Ben Simmons was going to play any basketball for that team at all whatsoever. Like, it was literally a dead asset. And his value got so bad, you could not even get the injured 6th man of the year in Malcolm Brogdon for him back then. You couldn't even get that anymore. Like, that's how low his value was. And Morey found a way to flip that for James Harden. But the issue, though, with this is Ben Simmons' value came from how the league interpreted him, right? All-star player, all defensive teams, all this and all that. Like, okay, maybe if he's in a different spot, he can be a much better player. Because he's young. Harden is not young, right? He's getting older. There's lesser teams that he can easily fit on to be super portable, and he's trying to go to a team that is trying to win. At least with Ben Simmons, you can trade him to any shitty team because he's young. It don't really matter. For Harden, there's a lot more checks and balances to make the trade work, which makes things way more complicated, I think.
I got another question for both of you. You think that that's like, okay, so after the Sixers regular season or the playoffs and we lost, they had an exit meeting, and they said that, you know, Harden was like, I don't like the way my play style was. I need to be more, you know, freed up. And Doc Rivers' offense was just terrible, and it didn't suit him at all, and it was just dumb. It was a dumb offense. So he won, and listen, they did what they. I'm sure that Harden didn't want Doc, and I'm sure it was kind of over with because Embiid was upset that Doc got fired. But, you know, Morey fired him, and I don't know if that had to do with because Harden wanted him gone, but whatever. But do you think that, like, him saying he wants to play with the ball in his hands more and him wanting to be the guy pretty much, like, he's not going to be that in L.A.?
No, but it's going to be different. He's going to have freedom to run the offense and look for his shot more. With Glenn, because you know I hate calling that man Doc. With Glenn, it was like, and it's not even just that. The spacing was bad. He was there already the season before with the shitty spacing in Brooklyn. That shit was just bad. Like, I don't understand how the Sixers could watch that shit and think that was good offense. Yeah, Harden and Embiid going crazy. The guy was using Maxey wrong, bro. Like, he tried to turn Maxey into this on-ball guy. You got to use him on-ball, off-ball. Then you give him Tobias Harris these random-ass post-ups. He ain't, like, I never understood that guy offense, bro. Like, yeah, people going to watch this video, bro. They going to watch this, and they going to watch the recording and say, but you said they going to win the chip. Yeah, of course I'm going to say we're going to win the chip. This is a fucking team.
I'm saying
that shit was bad. It was horrible some nights, bro. It's like 3 guys standing in the corner at one time. These 2 just running the pick over here.
And you got PJ Tucker in the corner not getting guarded at all. Every possession you play in 4-on-5 basketball with PJ in that corner not getting guarded at all.
Even the season before PJ got there, this guy was throwing Danny Green the dunker spot. Bro, I used to watch Danny Green in the dunker spot waiting to catch the ball, bro. I was like, what am I watching? What is this guy doing? That guy offense was just horrible. It was just bad, bro.
You think in LA the starting 5 would be Harden, Russ, Paul George, Kawhi, and Zubac?
I think Russ might go to the bench, honestly. I think you would go Harden, Batum will probably go there, Paul George, Kawhi. You probably have Zubac in there too.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want Westbrook starting with that group. I would want him off the bench. And I also wouldn't want Kawhi to play the 4. I don't want him to play the 4.
I don't like Kawhi at the 4 either.
Yeah. And I think Westbrook will suit better when he's coming off the bench with certain guys. Maybe he's in there with the bench lineups with running it with Paul George or Kawhi. I think that fits him better. He can just play at his own pace. Yeah, I don't think he should start with that group.
Listen, 9 times out of 10, the player gets what he wants in this league. Like Kawhi Leonard, okay, he didn't get it, whatever. That's an anomaly, but I mean, I think you're going to see it. I think LA and the Sixers are going to get it done. I think a third team is going to have to be involved. But I mean, that's something to look at. Like LA is now going to be a force in the. I mean, they were already great. You know, adding Harden. I mean, they're going to be good.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, like what happens with the Dame stuff now. Like, does this Harden stuff at all impact what Dame might do as well if he chooses to try to add more pressure or no?
Bro, I don't know. I think, bro, I said this guy earlier. I said this shit earlier. Harden is a vet at this forcing himself out of situation. The Dame, his whole, like, you could tell, bro, they handled that shit so wrong. Like, his agent sucks. Like, it should have never came to the point. Like, yeah, you might not have said this shit, but people should not start assuming that you won't play for other teams, bro. Like, that should have never happened. You should have, off the rip, yeah. If they train us somewhere else, we're going to show up, come to camp, you all this other shit. Like, the shit that they were doing, bro, no. It should have never happened, bro. Like you gotta attack shit early. Like you gotta be on top of this shit early. If you try and force yourself out. Like the NBA should have to send a memo. Like yeah, telling teams don't trade for me and shit. That shit should no. You don't do that publicly, bro. You don't do that publicly, bro. That should never hit the public. It should not hit the media. That's some behind the scenes shit.
And that's
And
why Harden
we know
got in
Harden
trouble,
gonna
by the
tell
way.
teams- we know Harden gonna tell teams don't trade for me. But that shit not hitting the media, bro. That's not breaking news. Like when I seen that shit, like what the fuck are they doing?
I mean, Harden just did that, but didn't do it obvious. He pretty much said, you know what I mean? He's not gonna get like, you know, fined or anything. I mean, he might get fined for what he said, whatever. But I'm saying he's not gonna make it like so like he's gonna get screwed. Like now Dame is like now, okay, I'm only gonna play for Miami. Now nobody's even gonna help Miami facilitate a trade where before they would have. It's just that was the dumbest way to do it and go about it. That whole Dame situation. I can't like, and you'd think that trade would be done by now, and it's still lingering. I don't like. Again, the NBA season starts in 2 months almost. Like, I don't know. I think usually when big names are gonna get gifted, like then the dominoes start to fall. Like I always thought that we were going to trade Harden before all this. I thought he was going to get traded because, you know, he said he wanted out. I mean, it wasn't like a disaster like it is now. I thought everything was going to happen with Harden after Dame got traded. But, you know, it's like probably going to be the opposite.
Yeah, like the whole Dame shit. I told y'all, that guy is interesting and he's a weird guy, bro. Cool. Bro, you want to go to Miami? I want you to go to Miami. I want you there because you want to be there, but the shit he been doing the past 2 seasons, bro. Oh, I'm not running from the ground. I'm staying here. Then he dropping these cryptic messages on Instagram saying, how much longer should I deal with this stuff and shit? Like, bro, what the fuck do you really want? Like, bro, you knew this shit was gonna come down to this. Like, bro, this guy said, bro, when he dropped the freestyle on the airplane, I was done. I was done. I'm like, bro, you're confusing me at this point, bro. You were just talking about, yeah, you might not be here for long. I don't know how much you can put up with this shit. Then you drop a freestyle saying you gonna stay. That guy is interesting, bro.
I kind of feel like with the Dame stuff, bro, it's kind of tough because I think for him, he legitimately was in between wanting to win a championship in Portland, but understanding that this roster is not getting better. They did not trade their pick to get a veteran presence to help him win, and the writing was kind of there on the wall. My issue, though, is this is another situation of poor planning, I think, because you signed a Supermax understanding what Portland was in that moment in the landscape of, like, the West. And then, like, 2 years later, you're asking out on a Supermax deal, which makes it harder for you to trade because ultimately Dame is getting older, right? He has injury concerns, just like Harden, right? Like, there are comparable things with that. But now it's like a Supermax contract that has to be traded the summer of a new CBA that's going to change the way the rest of the league operate. Like, dudes are not just going to be getting, like, these easy max contracts anymore because now there's a ramification for your actions. If you do that, your team is going to be set and you're stuck with your team for, like, a grip, right? It's going to take more work to, like, really change up your whole roster. So, to me, this offseason with these two guys is going to set in motion a new era of the NBA, I think. Like, this shit, like, seeing how these situations handle themselves is going to be very, very interesting to me.
And like you said, poor planning. Like, you knew, I don't see how you signed that deal and not get a no trade clause, bro. Like, Bradley Beal signed his shit, got a no trade clause.
That was crazy that Bradley Beal got that.
How the fuck does Bradley Beal get no trade clause, but Damian Lillard don't? Like, it's easy for Brad Beal to go where he want to go because he got the no trade clause. So, like, yeah, poor planning, bro. So, whatever happens with Dame, whatever fucking happens. Like, you got Martin Williams in your deal. You can't see no trade for me, so.
What was the reason that Harden why did Harden opt into the contract this offseason?
I feel like Harden opted in because they didn't offer him the contract he wanted and he needed to get some secure money because if he opted out, what team was going to give him the contract that he wanted? And we all know how this league works, bro. Once you accept a smaller contract, your value gets reset. That's just what it is. So
but you don't think
What?
But you don't think that somebody, okay, he wanted a long-term deal, right?
Yeah.
I get it. And again, the Sixers, people think that the lying was probably the deal that people, Daryl Morey promised me a deal. I think that's part of it, and they probably told him, opt in and we'll trade you. And now we're not going
to. That's what it was because he could have.
Yeah, it's two things that the Sixers potentially lied about, saying they're going to give him a long-term deal and saying, if you opt in, I'll trade you. So he opts in thinking he's going to get traded. Now he's not getting traded. I think that if he wouldn't have opted in, he might have not got a deal he wanted, but he would have been able to get his. I think it's he opted in for $37 million. I think he could have got $37 million a year for 2 years somewhere.
Not from a contending team though. Not from the Clippers. If he wanted this whole shit, he wanted to go to the Clippers. If he opted out, the Clippers literally could have offered that man a vet mill, bro.
You never know though. Before the whole Beal thing, the Suns could have done it. You know what I mean? If I don't know, I'm just saying. I'm the Harden's camp. I don't
think the Suns could have done it before. I don't know. I think that I don't know. Given wouldn't they have to move off Ayton to do that?
I think Ayton would probably have to go because with Chris Paul's contract, I think they were able to move that to get Beal back.
With Beal, yeah.
But it's kind of different because again, Beal has multiple years and the salary perfectly matches. I don't think Harden's money exactly matches.
I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe the Sixers kind of they forced him to do it, but should he have done it now? Obviously thinking now, maybe not because we're not going to trade him, but I don't know, man. It's just ridiculous. I think we're going to punt the season. What do you guys think we're going to do? You don't think Harden's going to be on the team all year, right?
I think Harden's going to get traded. I don't think he's going to stay the entire year on this roster. It would surprise me a lot if he did, honestly.
That's why I'm just confused on how the Sixers don't trade them now. I can't. Me personally, if I'm them, I can't waste a year on Joel Embiid. I can't wait because he's already injury prone. He's getting older. I can't waste this shit, bro.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna trade him for Norman Powell and Batum and cut your losses?
If I was them, if I'm trading Harden, I'm taking phone calls for Embiid. Maybe not trade him this season, but next off season.
Okay, so you're trying to blow it up.
Yeah,
right.
Listen, bro, you gotta face reality one day, bro. This shit ain't working, bro.
They should have. That's the problem, though. They could have done this, because you've heard me say, okay, if you're gonna trade Embiid, that's the direction you want to go. Then do it. But they should have done it before the draft. They could have gotten Scoop. They could have gotten. You know what I mean? Portland could have been
planning. It's the poor planning.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, okay. Now you're gonna trade Harden or for pennies on the dollar, and so either way, if you don't trade him right now or you trade him later in the season, it's still punting the season away. Unless by some miracle the Sixers hold out, they don't trade him, and they get some crazy deal, and they get another star that wants out, and they're able to facilitate a trade like they did with Ben. But again, that's got to be.
That's why I said you got to monitor the Bulls situation, but the money got matched.
It's got to be lucky. You got to hope that somebody wants out during the season, and they can take Harden. You literally have to get lucky again. Now, okay, I'm not planning on luck. If I'm the GM, I'm getting what I can for Harden, and okay. Unless you get a deal that it would have to be a deal that is unreal to trade Embiid. If not, you're gonna have to. I'm telling you, you're gonna have to be you're not gonna tell your fans you're punting the season. You're gonna be I think you're gonna have to say, well, I think we have enough. What we need, I think that Maxi's enough. You're gonna have to lie to the fans and say, I think that this is enough to win, when realistically it's not. And then next year you're gonna have to get off of Tobias Harris, maybe re-sign Tobias Harris for pennies because that's all he's worth right now. You re-sign him, and then you get a star. But again, back to my original point, who is going to want to come and play here? Because I wouldn't. Unless you offer them the money that they can't refuse, and you're the only team offering them a max contract, and okay, you'll come over. But other than that,
I don't really believe in who going to want to come. Yeah, guys, if the money makes sense, guys will come play.
Right? Bro. Yeah, but I'm just saying, you heard Kyrie tweeted out about Daryl Morey today, saying Morey was wrong.
I saw that.
So like people are going to be on Harden's side, fans and players.
I just think this is a very delicate situation, and it's just it's just so much can happen in 8 months. Because literally 8 months ago, they was already talking about this. They chose to go into the season with it, and it's like it's just a very rough situation because while all this is happening, the biggest thing, like Shaggy said, what has this team done to improve? They haven't really improved. It's been more of the same.
Exactly.
So now it's like you're really shit out of luck. I really think this is like a punted type of season. And again, like
Exactly.
I understand how much Embiid loves the city, right? Like all that is facts. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, I've had to like carry this team and go through multiple, of these things year after year after year after year. And then finally, I win the MVP. We're one game away from going to the conference finals and we're punting it up again. So now I have to do the same thing again for back-to-back seasons. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe, sure, it's not this year, but this could very well be the catalyst that sets in motion and be wanting to be out in the next 2 years. I can see that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, until that happens, then I'll believe it. Like Shaggy said, he said nothing nice about this city. He said he wants to retire here. He wants to raise his family here.
Right.
All the other stuff. But again, at some point, you're going to get fed up. If you want to win, then you're going to be like, I got to get out of here. Like, and you guys aren't helping me. So, and I believe he wants to win. So I get it. But like, apparently he's got a bunch of say in what's going on in the front office. Apparently he's got there was a report that says him and Morey are, talking and he's got a lot to do with who gets who they want. But like, okay, yeah, you're giving Embiid that you're saying like, okay, you're our best player. Like, yeah, now they're catering to Embiid, but honestly, I don't want Embiid to be my GM. He's a player. Like, you should be doing this. Like, you should be able to pick up, fix the mess you created. Like, and now you're gonna punt a season on Embiid's gonna be 31 by next year, and he's not getting younger. He's got health issues every year. I know he's gotten listen, he's getting better every year, I think. Every year he's gotten better and better and better. But, he's a big man with health problems, and you don't have a lot of years left with him. Like, you just don't.
And you're right. He shouldn't be the GM. But I think when you have MVP caliber players or guys who have that potential, they should be involved in like roster talks, bro. Like, I think they should be involved in those talks.
Yeah, they should have a say in who they want, but like, what? Embiid's going to facilitate a trade for Harden? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I think he should have been in the talks. Like, I think the whole Jimmy Butler shit shouldn't have happened. Jimmy should have never left Philly.
They should have kept Jimmy on his team, but we already knew that. I mean,
yeah,
that's Brett Brown. I mean, listen, that's again, when that happened, the Sixers didn't have a GM. The GM for the Sixers was Brett Brown, our head coach, who Jimmy didn't want. So what do you think's going to happen? The coach is going to be like, okay, you don't want me as your coach? We're trading you. They traded him for Josh Richardson. Like, what the fuck? Like, you traded your best player. Listen, at that time, Jimmy Butler was better than Embiid. Obviously, he wouldn't have, Embiid was going to be the best player, but at the time, Jimmy Butler put on the best performance in the playoffs, and the reason
well defensively too.
And the reason we lost him is because we didn't have a GM. Elton Brand was the interim GM, but Brett Brown was making the decisions because he was the coach. He endured the whole process thing. They felt bad for him. They thought he coached well against Toronto. They lost the Toronto series. They run it back. But Jimmy didn't want to run it back with that coach. So the coach who was in charge said, okay, you're gone. We have to give a max to Tobias Harris now. And that's what they did. And because they lost Jimmy Butler, Elton Brand signs Al Horford. And the day they signed Al Horford, I was like, what the fuck is this team doing? That's not going to work. He doesn't fit. It doesn't, it's stupid. It doesn't even work. Like, nothing works about that pairing. Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and Joel Embiid. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I'm
and Ben Simmons. And
15, 20 years from now, the whole documentary on this process shit.
And that documentary shit gonna be crazy, yeah.
That shit gonna be crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that shit gonna be crazy.
And it's so we've endured so much. Like, I know you guys, like, we've talked for the past couple of years, but like, even before that, like, Hinkie was the guy The NBA says, no, this can't happen. You have to go. They bring in Colangelo, and Colangelo is tweeting about Joel Embiid and on burners about his players. Like, that's what, like, listen to what the fuck happened to us. And now our player is saying our GM is a liar, and he wants, like, bro, we've been through, like, the most ridiculous shit, and Embiid has been through. You would think Embiid would have asked for out a long time ago. And people, like, shit on Embiid. I get it. He, playoffs, he hasn't performed well. He hasn't been up to standards. He's hurt every year. I understand. But this dude had to go through Markelle Fultz forgetting how to play basketball and going through an injury, and then us
literally not being able to shoot, but he can.
Right. Like, this dude's been through everything. And then he finally thinks we have an actual team with the Butler team, Butler, Redick. That starting five was nasty. Butler, Redick, Embiid, Tobias, and Simmons. At that time, Simmons was not, like, completely, like, useless when he was in the Atlanta series, because he wasn't asked to do as much. So you had a championship roster that you could have brought back, and you completely botched it because the coach didn't want to re-sign Butler, and then Simmons wants out, and now Harden wants out. It's a fucking disaster. And now we have to punt a season in Joel Embiid's prime. At 30-something years old. That's exactly what the Sixers are going to do this year. They're going to punt the season. We're going to go into this season with Tobias Harris and Maxey running the show and see how far it takes us.
That sounds so nasty, just saying that sentence, man.
Nothing else you could do.
I hate the name Tobias Harris, bro.
Bro, his on-ball defense give me pain, bro. Like,
I hate the
Harris,
name
Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid are our big three.
Damn, so it's like, okay. So then if they made the playoffs with that roster, like, okay, say for instance you get back, right, rotational level players. You get back Powell, you get back maybe Covington, maybe Batum is in there. I'm not really sure exactly how that looks. What's the ceiling of this team in the playoffs? Because my issue is that this is all happening at the worst time, right? The summer of a new CBA. Embiid is in his prime. You fire a coach, bring in a new coach that can't even run a system because he doesn't know if his star point guard is going to be there or not. And now you're, like, running into the playoffs. Like, this does feel like a punted year. Ironically, though, this could be a good year for Philadelphia, considering Celtics lost Smart. They have Porzingis. They're still going to be a great team, sure, but you could, like, run it back and maybe be better than you were last year if you just improve the roster. And it didn't happen. It just hasn't happened.
And listen, that if you get Batum and you get Norman Powell and you get Robert Covington, the Sixers are going to make the playoffs. Yeah. Maybe if they're not going to be better than the Bucks in the seedings. They're not going to be better than the Celtics. And I mean, listen, I don't know what the hell Miami is. They were the 8th seed last year, somehow makes the finals. So who knows with that team? They could be anywhere in the standings. But, you're really not going to be better than them. You're not going to be, regular season. The Cavs might have a decent loss record. Yeah. You're going to be around 5th or 6th. And in the first round, if you draw the Celtics or you draw the Bucks, you're not winning. And the only way you can get back to the second round is if you get to the 4th seed and maybe play like the Cavs or play like the Knicks or something. Yeah, okay, you get back to the second round and we lose again. Like, it's just the same scenario over and over and over and over again. Like, you have an MVP, bro. Like, this is just like, you need to build a championship team and you're gonna waste the season again.
I agree with Posh. I think if they make the trade under Nick Nurse, I think they lose. I think they lose to Miami, Bucks, Boston. Everybody else, I think they can be in the series in the first round. That Cavs shit, nah, I don't think nobody else can beat them. I just think Embiid
because of Embiid.
Yeah, I think he's that good. Like, and he's known for Jared Allen like his son. So yeah, New York, I think they suck. I think they suck. I'm Hawks. I think the Hawks fucking suck. Right?
Did you see that? I don't know if you put too much stock into the odds, but somehow the betting odds of Harden's new landing spot, the Clippers were first, the Hawks were second. Really? Their name hasn't even. Yeah, their name hasn't been brought up with the Sixers. I know their name have been brought up with other trades and stuff like that, but like, what the fuck are we gonna get for James Harden from the Hawks? DeAndre Hunter? I guess that's like the what?
Fuck right, but hey, you never know. Like I said, shit can happen. You fuck around, get Trae Young. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. Like I said, the only team, if he don't go to Clippers, any other team would have to buy him out. But I don't see a team giving up assets, giving up players just to buy this nigga out, bro. Like, I don't know.
I just feel like wherever Harden goes, it's gonna have to be a team that is trying to contend, or he gets brought out, because his goal for this season is to show his value in the NBA to get that long-term contract that he wants. So all this, like,
you think the Bucks would facilitate a trade for him?
The Bucks?
I mean, listen, they had a down year last year. If you look at playoffs,
James Harden and Giannis is crazy.
Yeah, who do you give up?
You don't think they move off of Middleton?
Me, I wouldn't move off Drew. I would want to pair them two together with. I would want to pair Harden to join the backcourt, but Middleton, I'm move on that guy.
Shit to get Drew Holiday on my team. That's how bad it is right now. Like, if we could somehow get Drew Holiday as our point guard with this team, I would be happy. You know, there was even a rumor that the Pelicans would trade for him, and I'm like, bro, CJ McCollum, like, okay.
Yeah,
like
I seen NMZ. Shout out NMZ. He posted that earlier. I seen that with the money match.
Yeah, I saw that.
Zion Ingram be crazy.
McCollum, like, okay, if that's what it takes, it's better than Batum and fucking Norman Powell.
I just feel like what you're looking for a process is you want to see this team have some clear path to at least a identity. You might not win, but at least understand what the vision is and what we're trying to do.
Right.
Right. So say the trade do happen. You get Batum, Powell, Morris. What would the Sixers do in the next offseason? They will have to try to go get another star, right?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah. My goal, if that's the case,
I think you probably go for Paul George or something like that if the Clippers do not extend him.
You're gonna have to get somebody with a big name, get him in here, and
another name. Another name I've been seeing floating around that might not extend or be with their team is D. Mitch. They said now rumors are saying D. Mitch. He might not be in Cleveland long term, but how realistic is it for Philly to land him? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you land him, do you really want a D. Mitch and Maxey backcourt?
I don't like that.
Horrific.
No.
Mm-hmm. I think you need to listen. This is my ideal. And this is a big ask for the team, and I'm pipe dreaming that this could happen. But Maxey is going to have to turn into a playmaking guard, and he's going to have to be your point guard. And I don't like it. I don't think he's a good point guard right now, and I don't think that that's his game, because he's so good off ball, but he could be good on ball as well. But he played so well off of James Harden and Embiid. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm hoping that Maxey turns into our point guard. He's running the show with Embiid, and you surround them with, listen, it's like wing shooters. Everyone wants this. Of course, everybody wants this. But you look at what Denver did. Listen, Jokic is another beast because he knows how to, make everybody better. Embiid is not that. But that's what it's going to have to turn into. Embiid's going to have to become better at playmaking. He's going to have to become better at passing out of double teams. He's going to have to make quicker decisions. And Maxey's going to have to be able to be more of a scorer. Embiid can't, listen, the 35 points a game, the 40-point games, the 50-point games, it's awesome. It's cool. You know what I mean? But I need him. I'd rather his scoring go down and his playmaking go up, and everybody else around him gets better. And you surround us with Maxey. You get a guy look. They Michael Porter Jr. is they got lucky. He fell to them, whatever. But you got to get guys similar to that. But they signed Bruce Brown. They got KCP. They fit perfectly with that team, and that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to find guys that can play off ball. Tobias Harris would be a good fit for us if he wasn't making $40 million. So if next year he gets re-signed for less money, I'll be whatever, it's fine. But you're going to have to get them guys. Toronto has a bunch of them. I don't know if they're willing to facilitate a trade with us. But you're going to have to get, like, OG Anunoby. Everybody wants him. Everybody in the league wants that guy on their team because he fits every team in the league. But you're going to have to go get it. Luckily, hopefully, like, Nurse is close to them, and they like Nurse, so maybe we could get something there. But, like, that's what the Sixers are going to have to do. So they're going to have to punt this season, and they're going to have to find guys that can play defense because of Maxi's size and Maxi's lack of defense, and they can shoot. And it's going to have to be Maxi and Embiid, and they're going to have to go and find co-stars that just fit well. They don't need superstars because, again, it's an anomaly what Denver did because Jokic is so good, but they did it without another superstar. They just had one. I know that Jamal Murray played well, and he played up to superstar potential in the playoffs, but it's all because of the way that team fits, and that's something we've never had.
Yeah, especially with last year, like the shit with Maxi, right? Like you say, he's a hell of an off-ball player, but bro, he can be even better off-ball. Like for the most part, we seen this man just catching and shooting threes and attacking closeouts when he was off-ball. They wasn't running no plays for this man.
Nothing with him and Joel, bro. They could have literally used him in the Seth Curry role with Joel Embiid. Like Seth Curry was so good with Joel Embiid together with their off-ball plays. Max kind of got iced out. It was so weird watching this sometimes.
Bro, Gifted. If you go back a year before that, Embiid and JJ Redick's dribble handoff was a top 10 offensive play in the NBA that year. JJ Redick.
Like I said, I never understood the Doc Rivers shit, bro. That offense, bro, it was bad, man.
Hey, bro, bad. How many times we keep saying, like, why are these players not being used the right way offensively? And it's like, you had the personnel to do so. Why is Tyrese having the ball in his hands with James Harden playing off ball? Why is he not running more curl actions? Why is he not more involved with Embiid as a screener? But also, I will say this, though. I need Joel Embiid to try to roll more in the pick and roll as well sometimes. I feel like sometimes he doesn't roll hard enough. And that
he doesn't roll at all.
Yeah. That's the issue. Like, you have to add more versatility, but the problem is you need identity. Denver, they have identity. We have Jokic. He's going to play make. He's going to do all this stuff. You are going to score the basketball, Jamal Murray, but you're also talented, so you can play make and help bend it off of his screens. Gordon, you're going to be like the roamer guy. Like that's what their identity is. For Philadelphia, to me, if you trade Harden, the way that you maximize that team is you have to fully buy into the idea that we need to be a defensive team who can just get buckets when we can, but fully lean on that defense, and you build from there.
And you got the coach to do it, and you have an anchor to do it. I mean, Embiid's defense is amazing. So you need to, you're 100% right. But it's the offense is like Doc's offense was catered to get Embiid as many points as he possibly can. Like that's not how you win. Like that's just dumb.
Not even just his offense, his defense, bro. Like,
bro, how many times did he just let Embiid keep stepping up on that pick and roll every single time, getting burned by guards from the perimeter? Wasn't no like help or nothing.
Bro, watch the game 6 when Tatum got hot, bro. That fourth quarter, they fucking hunted Tyrese Maxey, bro. And he sent that man no help. Like, bro, I'm just watching this shit. Like, bro, what the fuck are we doing defensively? And it make me so mad. We traded Thibault. I'm watching Jaylen Brown every first half or first quarter get off. Then Tatum playing ass and he pick it up. Like, bro, like, cool. Tobias and PJ, like, yeah, PJ's a dog and all that shit, bro. He was getting his ass cooked, bro. It's like, damn, we need some defensive specialists out here, bro.
And this game the Sixers had in that series as a team was game 5. And that's when I thought we were, I mean, bro, I was like, we're winning.
But game 5 looks so cold. Like,
but Gifted, game 5. Game 5 was Embiid's best game. Harden played, fine. He didn't have to go and do 50 points, 40 points.
Right.
And Maxey had his best game. And in that game, towards the end of the game, towards the third quarter, fourth quarter, Maxey had the ball in his hands, and they were using Maxey and Embiid, a two-man game, pick and roll, and it was working to perfection. And I'm like, oh my God, Doc Rivers finally switched it up, finally working. And then Game 6, they come out, and it was the flattest I've ever seen a team play. And just everything they did that worked in Game 5, they didn't even try in Game 6. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And you literally saw Maxey get off that game and him and Embiid working together when Harden was off the court. And it worked it worked perfectly. And you just never saw it again in Game 6 or Game 7. So, like, again, I've seen Maxey be able to do it, and that's what he's going to have to do this year. But, I mean, it's a catastrophe, dude. Our point guard, the guy who ran the offense, and the guy that could go out there and win you a game is gone, and you're going to replace him with... Listen to the fucking names. Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, and Norman Powell.
Ugh.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Look, man, I'm going to pray for your process. I'm not going to lie to you. Again, like, big shout out to my guy, Derek, because, again, when he called me, he was on the phone, like, talking about it, like, he was so upset at how they just let this offseason kind of like pass by like they weren't on the clock to do some shit. You don't improve the roster. Harden has to be traded, and now it's looking like the season, at least from now in the future, is in question. I don't exactly know what your team does to like bounce back and make those right reads, but we're gonna see, man. We got 2 months. We have 60 days pretty much until the season starts, and we're gonna find out very, very quickly what's gonna be what. So,
We'll see. Who knows?
Any closing comments from you guys?
Trust the process.
Yeah, man. Like, listen, man. We still on Philly, man. So I'm a Sixer too hard gone, man. We winning the chip, man. You know me, man. Straight up, man. I'm until he gone. I'm a Sixer, man. Fuck it. I don't want to go. Fuck it, man. Shit happens, bro. Shit happens.
Hey, man. Well, I appreciate y'all time finding a way to get y'all on, man. Me personally, like seeing all this news. This is what the NBA offseason is about, and I guarantee you, as we get closer to training camp, shit is going to keep picking up. It's going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. But I need to get y'all two opinions, because for the entire year, y'all would either like be like this with each other or be wanting to kill each other. And I needed to get both of y'all perspectives on like the team, James Harden, and all these things. I love the nuance that both of y'all understand that it's like a real 50-50 situation on both sides. And it's real ghetto what's happening right now, sadly. But we're going to find out exactly what this team is hitting for. I promise you, we're going to keep on like reading things, watching up, and things of that nature. But I'm going to catch y'all in the next thing that we do. I just had to get this episode off tonight. It's late at night right now. It's like 11:08. So shout out to my guys for pulling up and talking some hoops with me. But feel free to plug y'all socials real quick, people.
Man, what's my Twitter? Follow me on Twitter, Shaggy410X. Yeah, follow me on Twitter.
Follow me.
I
follow Shaggy. Follow Gifted. The Process Protector. All right, go Sixers. I'll see you guys later.
Absolutely. Links will be in the description. Catch y'all for some more NBA stuff. Peace out, people.